Hey there, dear MCPs. So happy to be sending you this video after coming back from the UNGA. It was a super packed week last week. Started off with having the steering team over here. We had some burgers together, and then we started kicking off with understanding the context of 1718. Then flew out to the UN General Assembly in New York. Tried to keep you guys updated via social media as much as possible. It was definitely an experience that was worth being part of, and representing ISIC on that level was definitely a big honor. But at this moment in time, that's not what I want to speak to you guys about this week. Just like every week, just like we started, that MCP capacity building framework when we're talking about the team, 5 team dysfunctions. In the past couple of weeks, we've been talking a lot about that idea of trust, about that idea of vulnerability. And as I promised you last week, this week we're gonna start talking about fear of conflict, which is that second layer of team dysfunctions that you will face during your MCP experience. Usually that fear of conflict comes from a need for harmony that we have as people. The problem that happens over here is when that harmony becomes artificial harmony, where I just want things to move forward. So I'm really not gonna bring things out there, or I'm really not gonna go into conflict or go into questioning or go into challenging just because I want to maintain that state of artificial harmony. Usually at that point in time as an MCP, I would start asking my people the question of, are you holding back? A question that is as simple as that enables you as a leader to understand, what are your people holding back? And if they're holding something back, why are they holding it back? And is that maybe due to an issue with the kind of trust building that you guys had as a foundation of your team? Because once trust is present, fear of conflict can be easily resolved. But if trust is not tackled, fear of conflict will always be retained. And at the end of the day, when you come to think of it, some simple questions such as, are you holding back? Are you challenging status quo? Status quo. Are you at the end of the day creating conflict that is constructive, through which the team can be able to find progress and through which the team can be able to move forward? The idea is that a lot of times we think that conflict or friction is something that needs to be dealt with, or that is a problem that needs to be solved. While if you start going through that shift of mindset as a leader and look at conflict and friction as an opportunity for new ideas to emerge, and look at it as an opportunity that needs to be fostered and harnessed, you would start looking at things a little bit from a different perspective, where you would also start researching and looking for tools that would enable you as a leader not only to be able to host spaces of constructive conflict, but also lead in harmony. This is our tip for this week. Go further down the newsletter. You're gonna find some tools and tricks that can enable you to be able to foster constructive conflict and overcome that, how can I say, that moment of artificial harmony where everything is beautiful, but is it actually beautiful? And that's my question for you. Big shout out, keep it real, a lot of love from the Global Office.